pets, and I brought one with me today to do my bidding. It's here in my pocket. I believe these animals are always good for striking up conversation. We did some remodeling. I found this fella in the wall of my old house. My partner said, "You're not going to keep it, are you?" I said, "Of course I am." Meet Leviton. Notice Leviton's tail. It's down. You know what that means. The lights are off. Now it's up. Lights on. Music starts playing. We can see what's going on and where we're going without stubbing our toes, and the music gets us in a good mood. Down, disengaged. Up, engaged. No, yes. Can't, can. Off, on. It's time for us, yes, us, the inclusive pronoun, to get the tail up, to turn on the power and electrify our membership. To be empowered to do the things we all want and need to do, the very reason we joined the auxiliary in the first place. My name is Klaas Naers. I'm running for Commodore because we need to empower our leaders and our entire membership to carry on the mission that we signed up for. Power on. Thank you.
Okay, for the election of DCO, the eligible voters are the DNACO, the DCO, DCOS, immediate pass, which is our DNACO, one vote, the PDCA, DCAP's North, East, and South, and all 10 division commanders. Teller Committee, can you please pass out the ballots? Thank you. We'll stand by while the Teller Committee counts the ballots.
You know, we really one of these days ought to just play that kind of music, you know, when you just suspenseful music.
Scott.
I mean, Tiny, you can start singing.
It's kind of like people ask me, why don't I wear shorts? Okay, well, my wife says it very well. She says, not with that turkey body and chicken legs.
So Tiny, what are you gonna do?
Actually, I'm going to be involved with RBS. I'm acting as the assistant ANACO for RBS Group, which I love recreational boating safety. So we have a new ANACO, but he's not new to the deal, Chris Wilson, and he is excellent. And we have 3 new directors in there. But we've got a lot that is coming up at the next meeting. We're making the Golden Key and the Lighthouse Awards, trying to make that permanent work continuous on. The same with distribution of decals where the DSO EE is getting another 250 extra. That seemed to help all the districts. We did it last year because somebody had asked me, said we don't have anything for the DSOs. And so people get an emergency because they've used a bunch, and now you at least have an outlet without having to go all the way up to Hanson and try to get extras. So we got some new partners on board, coming on board. We got West Marine, US Rowing, also Safe Harbor Marinas, reaching out to them. So a lot going on, and look forward to doing that. So I won't be unbusy, just won't be with us, but I'm sure there's a lot of these that I'm so tired of him talking. Thank you, Doc.
I have something for the good of the order here. I know everyone in here is familiar with Ox Data 2. Right? Was everybody aware that the contract was going to expire?
Darn.
Well, good news, it got renewed, so that's good. So we responded too because we're, at the October 1st is the new budget cycle, right? And so they were really hoping to get that contract finalized before the end of the fiscal year. So as most of you know, when October 1st rolls around and they don't have a signed budget yet, things kind of slow down to a grind. So we were happy that that got finalized. I think it was Thursday. So it's good. That's good for everybody. So the Ox 2 data contract is good to go, and there should be no interruption in service for you folks.
So no Ox Data 3.
No Ox data.
Not yet, please.
Yeah.
So, Captain Darren Lewis, what was your contingency plan? Sorry, inside baseball. Man.
I was gonna turn to Steve Mentillo and say, "Hey, Steve, what are we gonna do about it?"
As we all do, thank you.
Yeah, no. And then I know the training, which has already been mentioned, is a big deal as well. They mentioned at the national conference that the training for the auxiliaries was cut by 70%. And so I know the DCO, who also spoke at the national conference, kind of turned and did one of those, and they are working hard to try to find more funding so that we can provide more training that will help with the retention that was just mentioned. So they're trying to scrape some funding together to help us out. I think the average FORSCOM training slot for an active duty member is somewhere around like $2,500. For a auxiliarist, it's about $900. So there's some trade space in there, and I know the 06 down in FORSCOM that helps formulate the budget for all the training slots is well aware that we need some more slots for the auxiliary. So fingers crossed that some more good news can be passed at a later date, but we are aware of the shortage of training, and we're working hard with everyone to provide those slots for everybody. So hopefully next month I can share some good news about that. But until then, we'll leave it at that. Trying to think of any other good stuff to share with you.
Well, I don't know how many of you know that, of course, we had the elections at NACON, and we elected Commodore Mary Kirkwood as National Commodore. We elected Pat Perry as the Vice NACO, and our National Commodore, Commodore Romano, due to family reasons, resigned his position. He didn't resign from the auxiliary, okay? So henceforth, there was a choice that the National Commodore could have continued as NACO-elect until November the 1st. Instead, she jumped right in action and was saying the Vice NACO. So our National Commodore right now is Commodore Kirkwood, okay? I've worked with Commodore Kirkwood 6 years. My first 2 years as DCO. She was the DCO in 11 North, and my next 2 years as Commodore of D13. She was the DNACO, and of course she was the DNACO now. I think we're all going to be well pleased. You know, she's good people, and she thinks of the member, and that's the plus. And she's very direct, okay? And I love people direct. I don't like being around the bush. And anyway, Pat Ferry he's good people. I withdrew from it just simply because that it's a 6-year commitment that you make to do it. And between my age of thinking how old I would be at the time to finish it and trying to think of all the travel, it would have been unfair to not only Mary as NACO had I won, but it would have been unfair to my membership too. Because of that. We need strong leaders there, and I think we have.
Okay, I've got the results back from the first round of voting, and we do have a majority vote. And I want you to welcome Klaus Niehaus as our next Commodore. Congratulations. The next election today will be for the Chief of Staff for the DCOS. And submitted candidates, we only had one, Mark Hannibal. And are there any nominations from the floor for DCOS? Are there any nominations from the floor for DCOS? One last time, are there any nominations from the floor for DCOS? Hearing none, we have one candidate, and everybody's been vetted and ready to go. So, Mark, do you have any comments before we have the election?
Sure.
Good morning. Are you excited to be here today? Yes. All right. Well, I'm excited to be here as well, and I have a vision for D13. D13 will not only lead the auxiliary, but will also lead Team Coast Guard. I see us all using our talents and our abilities to accomplish many of the assigned tasks excellently and without delay. The auxiliary is my passion, and those of you who know me know that, and it's been my primary focus ever since I retired 8 years ago. Just a little bit of background for me. I currently serve as the District Directorate Chief for Prevention, and in that capacity I work with the district staff officers for marine safety, member training, navigation systems, public affairs, public education, the state liaison officer, program visitor, the vessel examiners, and the Color Guard program manager. Previously, I had the honor of being the DDC in response, and in that capacity, I worked with the DFSOs for aviation, communications, emergency management, and operations. So serving in this capacity, in these past two capacities, has given me really an observation and be able to make some determinations as to where the needs are, where our pluses are, and our minuses. I'm a retired criminal defense lawyer. I spent 36 years, no I didn't either, I spent 25 years in the Spokane County Public Defender's Office representing individuals charged with crimes who could not afford a defense lawyer. I concluded my service there as a felony supervisor of 36 felony attorneys. I've tried cases all the way from murder cases all the way down through misdemeanor thefts. What I learned from that, I learned that we need to lead by serving, and I've accepted that and adopted that motto. And I have adapted that to the auxiliary. I believe I lead to serve you, the membership. If we support our members, they in turn will support us. The goals will be achieved a lot quicker, and we'll be able to reach a lot higher standards and lofty goals. By listening to the members will see that we're receptive to those needs and desires, and we'll get there a lot faster, and we will have a much stronger organization. I have the time, the energy, and the support, not only from members, but the support from my wife as well, to perform the duties of the district chief of staff. As indicated, my passion is the auxiliary, and I ask and appreciate your confirming vote, as I will serve you to the best of my ability. Thank you.
Thank you, Mark. Eligible voters for DCOS is DNACO, the DCO, DCOS, PDCA, DCAPS North, East, and South, all 10 division commanders and the director. But in the case of an unopposed election pursuant to the Oxman, voting will be by acclamation unless a voting member demands a secret ballot. Does any voting member demand a secret ballot? One last time, does any member demand a secret ballot? Then, hearing none, all in favor of Mark Hannibal to be elected as DCOS? Sorry about that. You got demoted already. Sorry, Mark. And all in favor that Mark for DCOS, say aye. Aye. Congratulations, Mark. Okay, now we're going to move on to the DCAPs. DCAP East is the first one. What threw me a curve, Mark did submit his name in the event that he did not win Chief of Staff. So we have one candidate that's running now for DCAP East, that's Dave Hansen. And once again, are there any nominations from the floor for DCAP East? Are there any nominations from the floor for DCAP East? One more time, any nominations from the floor for DCAP East? Hearing none, we have one candidate, Dave Hansen. Dave, do you have a few words you want to say before the election?
I think I'll stand. I almost dodged the bullet by having acclimated immediately to Mark. It just didn't work out.
No?
No comment.
No comments? All right. The eligible voters are DNACO, DCO, DCOS, DCAP East, Director of the Auxiliary, Divisions 8, 10, and 11. The same case what we had for Chief of Staff. In the case of unopposed election pursuant to the Oxman, voting can be by acclamation unless a voting member demands a secret ballot. Does any voting member demand a secret ballot? Hearing none, all in favor that Dave Hansen to be elected as DCAP East, say aye.
Aye. Aye.
Congratulations, Dave. The next election will be for DCAP North. We have one candidate submitted, and that was Anthony Marola. Are there any nominations from the floor for DCAP North? Are there any nominations from the floor for DCAP North? Are there any nominations from the floor for DCAP North? Hearing none, Anthony Marola is the only candidate running. Anthony, you would like to say a few words before the election? Not this time? All right. The same list, okay, the eligible voters are the DNACO, DCO, DCOS, DCAP North, Division Commanders 1, 2, 3, and 4, and the Director. The same thing as we've done in the past. In the case of unopposed election pursuant to Oxman, voting will be by acclamation unless a voting member demands a secret ballot. Does any voting member demand a secret ballot? Hearing none, all in favor that Anthony Marola be elected as DCAP North, say aye.
Aye.
Congratulations. One more election to go, DCAP South. We have one candidate submitted for DCAP South, and that's Ronald Hilberger. Are there any nominations from the floor for DCAP South? Any nominations from the floor for DCAP South? Are there any nominations from the floor for DCAP South? Hearing none, we've got one candidate. Ron, would you like to say a few words before the
I'll
election?
reserve those for my DCAP comments. Thank you, John.
Okay. Eligible voters are the DNACO, DCO, DCOS, DCAP South, Director of the Auxiliary, and Divisions 5, 6, and 7 commanders. And in case of an unopposed election, which this is, pursuant to Oxman, voting will be by acclamation unless a voting member demands a secret ballot. Does any member demand a secret ballot? Hearing none, all in favor of Ron Hilberger be elected as DCAP South, say aye. Aye. Congratulations, Ron. One last item. I'd like to ask our legal representative, was Ephraim Krischer, if the election was conducted according to the Oxman and District 13 standing rules.
If the election was conducted in accordance with the standing rules and the Oxman.
Thank you, sir. Okay, this concludes the District 13 elections. I turn the floor back to Tomo Singh Keelan.
John, should we take a break? Do you need this? Yeah.
Let's take 10 minutes or so to get a stretch and take a break.
No, easier because I have one down there in Orlando.
Thank you.
Klaus, congratulations, handwriting.
Look forward to seeing you around.
I wanted to do the face-to-face.
Right. And how are you with your TCO at this point? Are you close?
I'm close, yeah.
Were you also coming here for that?
Coming over to congratulate you. I don't know what he said. I wasn't listening.
Well, he said nothing meaningful.
Nothing meaningful.
Yeah, same words
I got
that you
that.
did.
I heard lots of positivity.
No, that's a lie.
Division 10? He's Division 7.
Good.
And, yeah, so I was asking you about TCO.
I knew I should
Close? No, I knew Dave's bringing TCO training to the area. Are you going to do it there and finish up there?
We're gonna finish up there, it's probably gonna be black. But then I could have swore there was another one that said white, maybe that was a.
I'll let everybody else give you your congratulations.
I want to be on the other side, guys.
These guys are gonna be wearing their whites, right?
No.
Yeah, it's not a copy, you can upstairs. I'm streaming on 2 devices. It's gonna be streaming. So, yeah, I'm just rolling both. It's the best I can do. I tested yesterday, but like I set it up and ran everything. No. Yeah, so I get you devices. But I'm not impressed with that.
I still would have liked funding the ESO finance retreat in Tahiti, but I guess it's close. Well, I thought about it. I thought the sector representatives, the sector board was a good idea. Because maybe it'll get them out in the sector.
both done it. It's a really hard job. And yeah, we have no idea what we're getting into. I can go home and grab my potatoes, and I've got some fair boards.
So we don't have any of that.
So we can do this tonight. So I can go home and I can go home, shift into place, and put my boards in, put my hardboards in.
We can't do it tonight.
It's fine. We don't have it. So, do we have hardboards for tonight, or do you want me to?
We don't have any. I don't know the break law.
Not an ask. I would never, ever want to do it again. I have a Commodore boards upstairs. I have mine. Why don't I grab my Commodore boards?
Hey, Matt.
I used to order them at a time, just in case.
coming back to us. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not the first. It's not.
Well, let's see what happens.
Yeah. My captain. So I'll check in with boss after and see if he has hard works for tonight. And if he doesn't, I'll go home and grab my dinner press blue. Yeah, I'm just thinking about tonight. Go home for tonight. Yeah, I'll check with boss. Yeah, so but it's you know, it's an hour home and back, and I don't have anything going on today, so let's ask. It's not your problem. Here's that clock. That's a good number, right? The other ones, I'm not quite sure. This is the worst part of the job. We're bringing people back. I'll shout at people, you know I love that, right? 2 hours might call it. You want them back in a minute and a half, or do you want them to start getting back? Start getting back.
I guess we're doing that.
Okay, folks, if we can take our seats, we can get started again, so we're not here till...
Of course he yells.
We're ready for division reports. Yep.
All right, at this time, let's do the division reports, starting with Division 1.
Good morning. My name is Kevin Coulomb. I'm Division Commander for Division 1. That's the northern area, north of Seattle, all the way to Bellingham. My vice is Rich Martinson. Current division status is 131 members with 10 AP, 101 BQ, 19 AX, and 1 perennial IQ, who we can't seem to boost out of that status. Our current qualifications are 8 TCO, 1 ACA, 1 ACS, 3 QE, 19 VE, 1 PV, 6 ANs, and 18 instructors. We have approximately 10 boat facilities right now and 2 radio facilities. In division leadership, elected, I and my VCDR are in our second term. At this time, a candidate has been identified for both offices. However, my VCDR will need a waiver. In the staff, our core SO positions are filled at this time. However, in 2025, we'll be searching for an FN and IS. In the program SO positions, we're filled at HR, operations, MT, CM, and PE. But most of these positions will be vacant. We'll be looking for people in 2025. And our current vacant SO positions are DV, MSPA, PV, and VE, and those remain vacant going into the future. In division finance, division and finance, flotilla finance cycles are in hand. The current division finance situation is about approximately $4,000, and we bank with Home Street Bank here in our area. Our yearly due cycle is in hand. No dues will be collected for division. At division, we have a dedicated cell phone that has been purchased to facilitate division banking. In the past, we had individuals who were in charge of banking that resigned or disenrolled or retired from the auxiliary, and we lost track of her and lost control of our banking situation. That took quite a while to bring back under control. So I'm hoping with this dedicated cell phone, which will transfer to the next DCDR, and a dedicated email address that it will facilitate handing over banking to my successor. In division programs, focus of division activities on recruiting and retention as well as supporting staff. Where staff positions are vacant, elected leadership bridges the gap. Among noteworthy programs, we had a diversity outreach with a local tribe, which was completed. I have listed in my report accomplishments of the 3 flotillas. You're free to read that at your convenience. We do have flotillas at Bellingham, Everett, and Edmonds.
And significantly, this year, we completed operations at Seattle Seafair, and we supplied patrols of the Puget Sound Traffic Separation Scheme. Overall, the division is on track to wrap operations for 2024. At this time, succession leadership is in hand with a candidate standing for DCDR and VCDR. Among flotilla leadership, Flotilla 11, the FC is serving their 3rd year and is doing so without a vice. The FC and VFC candidates are yet to be identified. At Flotilla 12, the FC and FSO that started the year resigned in the spring. So our VFC had to step up to FC, and the VFC was supplied from the membership. The current FC intends to stand for FC for 2025, but they are facing heavy personnel challenges, so we might have an issue there. A candidate is standing for VFC. That flotilla that happens to be my flotilla, we are short an IS candidate that we have yet to identify. We have a potential candidate, but he just joined the auxiliary, just got his BQ status, and I don't know where we're going to go from there. At Flotilla 18, the FC and VFC have completed their 2nd tour of duty. The FC and VFC candidates to be identified. Flotilla programs are in hand for the year, but there is a need to find new members to train up to carry on those programs. My observations, facility operations are likely to falter at the division level due to the expense of acquiring and maintaining even a modest outfit. 2-stroke outboards are being phased out, 4-stroke outboards phased in, and the cost of those rival a car, and that does not include the hull. So I don't see any facilities coming in the future. Membership needs more familiarity with the AUX manual. The FC and VFC Academy is warranted prior to annual election cycles. A uniform training weekend boot camp might be appropriate. And from national or from the AUX Association, a PA HR recruiting package of canned ads and posters would be welcome. Thank you all for the opportunity to serve. If you have any questions, I could take those now. Thank you.
Klaus approached me at break and he said, there's a bet going out. Who's going to give the longer talk? Klaus, whoop, or me? So we'll see, and somebody can start the stopwatch. But anyway, it's been an interesting couple of years now that we're coming out of a pandemic, because I'm a financial guy and I like to look at 5 years of history. And when you look at 5 years of history, it doesn't work. So we're building a new database of what we've been able to accomplish. For new members, we have a net increase of 3 members this year. We're up to 103. Last year we had an outstanding year. But when I look at how we get the new members, we all have the same team at the district level. Carol, Bobo, and Bev take these leads that come down from national and process them. Like there's a fire and you got to put the fire out, so they do their job. And then it comes down to my division level. And I'm kind of really lucky that I got Heidi as my division HR officer and as my Flotilla 22 HR officer, and Maria as my Flotilla 24 officer, and Deborah Alderman as my Flotilla 25 HR officer. Those people take a big relief off of the flotilla commander and the division commander. They get the job done, and they work with those people to get them BQ qualified within 30 days if possible. So they do an outstanding job. So big kudos for them. I'm a big guy in education. That's one of my strong suits. When I look at people, and my story is if I can still learn things at my age, going on 86 this year, and take a class, give me a reason why you can't do the same thing. So Henry Phillips sends out an email every single month when somebody passes a course, and that goes in my division meetings on a PowerPoint of kudos to those people. So I really thank Henry for doing that job. The big surprise I had this year was the Elkide Lighthouse. Deborah Alderman and some of the people have done an outstanding job when I looked at this thing. We're only doing it on Sundays now. So we did 14 Sundays, 2 special events. We have 11 watchstanders. So when I looked at the numbers of the people that volunteer to work on Sundays at the Lighthouse, it's 11% of my members in the division. That's hard to get. So the number one person is Mike Bro, who did every single Sunday over 60 hours. We had 1,400 visitors from 43 states and 17 different countries. So one of the people on national interpreter staff, Mark Aroni, when he started doing this stuff a couple years ago, he said, you know, we got all these different countries. Why can't we take all the literature that we've got and convert it into their native language? So the interpreter staff converted 7 of our literatures into 7 different languages. So many thanks to Deborah Alderman, Will Winter, and Mike Bro, and Mark Aroni. Boat Academy, we all have a real challenge in Boat Academy. We have a super management style person, Bill Cotter, that put together, I want to say, the best boat crew academy that I've seen in the 16 years I've been in auxiliary. And we have, at this point in time, 13 members trying to get boat crew, 6 members trying to get coxswain, all due to Bill Cotter's organization of pulling a team together. The challenge is, like everybody's got, we don't have enough facilities for time on the water to get the job done. What else we got here? Okay. Some of you know the Ox Culinary Assistance Program. We have an opportunity that we're in the Seattle area with Base Seattle, and we have members that work every single Friday helping relieve the active duty piece in there. So they've done that at this point in time. We have 4 people at the CA1 level, which is the highest level you can work with the Coast Guard. They have 859 hours as of August, and we have CA2s, and we have 96 hours in that area, and we have 3 instructors. So next year, we ought to be able to do, Klaus is part of that team. So with Klaus being up at that level and being down at this level, we ought to be able to build that team up here. One of the things that I looked at, how do I measure the performance of the division? And if you go onto the national website, there is a performance measurement area. And 2 of the areas in there are member hours. What are we doing? So I tracked that, and I set a goal that I wanted 75% of our members to put time in Ox Data 2. That's a challenge to get 75% of your members to do that. So I had to do a little twisting of the numbers. I looked at this year, and we're at 68%. We were 65% last year. A big kudo to John Sturr. He runs a report for me whenever I need it that gives me 3 years of averages, or 3 years and then an average, and it lists all the members that have got time in Ox Data. So some of my members had time in the other 2 years and no time this year. So when I looked at the 3-year average, we hit 75% of the goal. So our goal by the end of the year is to get the numbers up to 75%. We know about the operation plan. We put it together every year, and we do benchmark measurements to get that. The NACON 3-Star Award. I'm a believer in that program. 7 years ago, I didn't know what the program was until I looked at it and said, that award, if you look at what the requirements are, says if I can qualify for that award, I've got a well-run unit, either a division or a flotilla. And if you look at those benchmarks, so we got it, and this should be our third year that our second year at the division level, okay, and what we're doing on that point. We didn't do as well in boating education classes as we wanted to do, and that's just we had low attendance. We had the classes out there, and we didn't draw enough people. But we did honor flights every year. We had 2 in the spring and 2 in the fall, one coming up next month. For Seafair, we do a torchlight parade. Fleet Week, we had a booth at the pier, well attended, had a lot of fun. We did Seafair boat ramps and on the water. We do a Seattle Boats Afloat twice a year for recruiting. Other thing that we do is Safe Boating Week. And I give a lot of kudos to Deborah Alderman and Dale Vodka for pushing that out. We get the mayors in 9 different cities this year to authorize a Safe Boating Week for that particular city. And the numbers are going up. We work at the Washington State Spring Fair, where you get life jacket to work, safety days, what have you. Fisherman's Terminal, and we have summer picnics. When I look forward to next year, I look at the division. This is my last year as a division commander. We have an excellent team for next year. Our succession planning of trying to train people to understand what they're going to step into has been excellent. So our Flotilla 22, same people running it this year that did last year. Did a good job, first time doing it. They're doing great. You're coming up back there is Flotilla Vice Commander for 22. Flotilla 24, the Vice Commander stepping up to be the commander. He's got a strong lead. Flotilla 25, we've got a strong person coming in for that. And at the division level, we've got 2 strong people running for that. We've got a contested election at the division commander and only 1 person stepping up for the division vice. And that person will probably get a waiver for. I'll submit that when I get back home. So it's been a fun 2 years, and I've been fortunate to have a strong staff to get the job done. Thank you.
Good morning.
Good morning.
As a Division III commander, I inherited the division somewhat earlier this year due to the absence of the elected division commander and inability to participate. So this may very well be one of the shortest reports you're ever going to get. I like brevity too, believe me. Well, in any case, we're one of the smallest divisions. I think with our last aggregated strength as of this morning was 57 members for a division. So, but having said that, for the format, I used the easy reports format, figuring it was the easiest way for me to marshal whatever it is that we've done and to probably present it in a brief and concise manner, which I'm about to do. One of the first things that was good, that we received an official National Safe Boating Week proclamation from the cities of University Place and Tacoma. At that point in time, we had contacted, or one of our flotilla commanders had contacted several other cities in the South Sound area and UP and Tacoma were the two that responded. And the presentations were very, very thoughtful, very nice. I attended one of them, and it was actually very well handled, and they were very glad to see us. We established ties with a place called Corinthian Yacht Club, Tacoma, to promote vessel safety checks. They're kind of isolated way off Marine View Drive, and if you blink your eyes, you'll miss the entrance to get in there, because it's a really strange place. But they're a very, very interesting group of boat owners, and they like us. We conducted a VSC session at Foss Harbor on the 11th of May, and we also conducted 25 paddlecraft inspections at Foss Harbor as well in August. We sent a press release to Tacoma News Tribune regarding the above event. However, there was no response received, whether they got it or not, and I never saw anything in the newspaper, so that's something we probably want to try to rectify if we can. 3 Division III members started crew training with district assets, and I want to thank District 1 and 4, or Division 1 and 4, for assisting and providing mission support where needed. They hope to complete their on-the-water and whatever other on-the-water evolutions and tows by early 2025, if they haven't completed them already. Again, several divisions were most generous with their availability of the facility and coxswain support for these shipmates. So bravo Zulu to them. Division has conducted a total of 85 vessel safety checks to date. Of these, 65 have passed, 41 were first time, and 6 were high focused. We conducted 2 boating education courses to date. The Boat America course was held at the VA Conference Center on 24 August with 7 students. Suddenly in Command was held at Flagship Maritime at Foss Harbor on 7 September with 19 students. Both courses were well received by the students, and they clamored for more. Division has 2 more courses planned, Boat America and Suddenly in Command at the VA Center in October, November. There's a possibility that SIC may be a recurring course at Flagship Marine, because the folks who attended were very pleased with the presentation and plan to spread the word, so we may do another one earlier next year. Division III members stood 17 4-hour watches at the Washington State Fair for a total of 68 hours of face time with the fair-going public. Flotilla 38 gave several boating and kayaking safety talks at the City of Lacey Parks Department. Over 400 kids signed up. Flotilla 38 also staffed a booth at West Marine Safety Day in Olympia. The areas covered included wear of PFDs, disposing of expired flares, and how to obtain documentation numbers for vessels. Flotilla 38 conducted 12 PV visits in the South Sound area. F-33 conducted 19 PV visits to date. The Flotilla 38, their ATON staff inspected Hartstein Island Bridge and 4 Swantown Marina Paytons. And I have to give kudos to Ron Holdcamp from Flotilla 38 for basically helping to establish the Washington State Fair booth and the table. He was very instrumental, and basically has taken that on for years. So another bravo Zulu for him. Division finance picture at this time is $2,584. We want to continue to support our performance by supporting a sail-in day at Rock the Dock Pier for Corinthian Yacht Club. That was a relative success, and we'd like to do that on a recurring basis for them. We conducted a QA, a question and answer session at Boating Safety with Corinthian Yacht Club. 2 of us went there and were primarily addressing specific questions about boating in the Puget Sound, the Puget Sound area, anything that needed to be discussed or otherwise shared with, cautions, things to avoid, and so on and so forth. They had also invited us to their barbecue, and again, they were very pleased to see us, and we hope to have a long-term relationship with them. We'll continue to support RBS activities as we find them to the best of our ability. Members continue to pursue FEMA leadership courses. One facility commander has enrolled in the AMLOC course this time. Flotilla commanders continue to work on succession plans for flotilla level leadership. Sometimes it's a game of twisting arms and gentle persuasion, but we're getting good at that sort of thing. So hopefully we'll have a succession plan in place. It's amazing what happens when you mention that. We also want to encourage honor flight participation. We've had members who buy into that and have attempted to make the honor flights whenever possible. We continue to encourage members to participate as instructors. We could use a few more good instructors, and once again, the gentle persuasion attitude adjustment is going to come into play at some point. Okay. Flotilla 33 has discussed a possible purchase of a facility to conduct on-the-water crew and coxswain training for members interested in pursuing this. Such plans are merely in the discussion stage at present, and it's not progressed past fact-finding and feasibility studies. That's one of those things, the more you get into it, the more rabbit holes you seem to run into and exit, because it's a very interesting challenge. But it's one that we're trying to look into possibly for the next couple of years. Trends causing us to fall short of our goals. Well, getting older, trying to get older and established auxiliary members to participate in flotilla and division activities remains a challenge. Effort continues to be ongoing as flotillas continue to cut outreach to various venues to promote boating safety, so we're continuing to do that. I didn't identify any significant issues, questions, or problems that I need to share, that I can share here. As far as recruiting is concerned, we invited a father and son who attended a Flotilla 33 May meeting as visitors. The daughter is a student at California Maritime Academy, wanting her dad to consider membership. Apparently she belongs to the auxiliary down in Vallejo. We worked with another lead who subsequently became a new member of 33. He's interested in public affairs, and we've picked up a couple of new members there. Another, a very noteworthy event and innovative, Flotilla 33 Commander established a monthly Zoom meeting coffee call for all members and prospects as an informal chat room and a place to ask questions. I've never seen that done before, but that's fantastic. So he's had some response for that. The division has accessed 3 new members, 2 for Flotilla 33, 1 for 38. Our division HR continues to furnish quality leads. Right now, there's 7 additional prospects being vetted at this time in the mill. Some have been difficult to reach due to work or vacation schedules or lack of internet access, but efforts continue to reach out and confirm interest once and for all. Our newest member is working on a Facebook page for Flotilla 33, which is under development, and we'll go live soon. That concludes my report, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you.
Good morning. Sorry, Tony, I'm going to steal your thunder here. This is going to be shorter than yours. All right, great. I'm Thomas Bliss. I'm with Division 4, and happy to be here today. Really quick report. We all have our challenges recruiting, holding offices, both at the flotilla and division level. And those challenges are going to continue. I mean, well, it's just a fact. So I've decided I'm just going to focus on the positive stuff that we did this year, which I think is super important. So right now, Division 4 has 88 members, 67 BQ, 8 AP, 12 AX. We've got boat crew. We've got 4 coxswains. I think we've got, 6 facilities now. We have some succession completed for this coming year. Going to welcome, I hope that we're going to have John Edwards and Dana Miller will be representing Division 4 leadership. Some of the activities that we participated crossed over into other divisions, 1, Division 2. We had some people in from Division 4. Seattle Boat Show, watch standing, Bangor Naval Base Safety Pair, Bainbridge Island Waterfront Park for National Night Out.
We're pretty active in Gig Harbor, along with Flotilla 33 and Division 3 as well, for the Gig Harbor Paddlers Cup, Gig Harbor Dragon Boat Races, Gig Fest, which is amazing. Probably 20, 30,000 people filter through Gig Harbor in the course of a weekend. It's really great. Lots of seafair on the water operations support. We had about 4 days out on the water. We had 3 facilities from D4, and I think we had half a dozen crew members out there as well. I was out there for seafair as well, along with our amazing Bill Cotter on my vessel. So that was great for seafair. We do a lot of Tacoma Maritime events as well. We have paddlers out there in their canoes and kayaks. And every year we do what's called the Swim Defiance, which is an interesting event in that we have swimmers that leave from Vashon Island at the Tahlequah Ferry Dock and swim over to Owens Beach during fishing season. So it's exciting, all right? It's the first time ever I've had my boat flat out, so, and it worked, okay. We have Puyallup, we have the State Fair going on, Port Townsend Wooden Boat Festival. So you can see D4 is pretty active. We have a lot of training going on right now. This is a major Herculean effort on behalf of many, many people in Division 4. We have Jim Delaney, we have Doug Jones, Bob Hancock, David Martin, Dana Miller, all supporting hours on the water and in classroom to get our members in D4 trained up, and for QEs that we hope are coming up very, very soon. We're also still involved with Sea Scouts, BSA. Bob Hancock is pretty strong on that. And we've had some renewed excitement with cross-division training. So we've been working a lot with members from Flotilla 33, and we're happy to support that. So some real big shout-outs to one person in particular who is looking to be our Division 4 commander for next year, John Edwards, who came out here from Montana. His surface facility, they have logged 48 patrols this year for about 330 hours of training, which included 286 hours underway. We had 24 patrols for John Edwards as coxswain, 155 hours underway with John, 12 patrols for Jim Delaney as crew with 68 underway hours, 12 patrols for Simeon Baldwin and 53 underway hours. So it's quite an effort. Once again, the people that are spinning up our version of a boat through Crew Academy, Jim Delaney, Doug Jones, Bob Hancock, David Martin, and Dana Miller, just to name a couple. And we have another standout, one more time. Doug Jones has been acting as our operations and coordinating most of what we have been doing on the water. So another shout out to him. As we reported earlier, and those that have crossed the bar, Sylvia Jean Oster, who is one of our long supporters of the auxiliary. She was AUC at Port Angeles at the air station there. She was my vice until she became too ill to participate, and then John Edwards took over, thankfully, and has done a really amazing job. So other short notes are that we've had about 1,400 hours of leadership activities. These are just the high numbers here. Regatta safety zone support, about 400 hours. All in all, we've had about 5,300 hours of auxiliary participation in our membership, right? So finances are good. We have the challenges that every other division has, and that is succession planning, and hopefully we'll get that sorted out soon. All right, so, sorry, Tony. Beat you. All right, okay. All right, thank you very much.
Good morning, I'm Kenny Kent, Division 5. We cover ranged from Depot Bay to the north to Newport, Siuslaw, Eugene, Siuslaw, Coos Bay, North Bend, Brookings, and then to the east, Grants Pass. So we're really spread out. We have 124 members in those flotillas with 12 boats, certified crew 18, coxswains 12, surface patrols this year 92. Regatta safety mission hours 295, marine observation missions 447 hours, program visits 2,476, vessel safety exams 1,410, community relations 800 hours, public education 174 hours, radio watchstanding 1,088 hours, marine safety 827 hours, and culinary assistance 347 hours. Division 5 put on 3 OXOP classes this year, plus crew and coxswain academies. 4 members earned their OXOP device. Division 5 hosted a 2-day Southern Area Regional Training at Eugene this year, brought it back after 4 years' absence, and multiple classes were offered, including first aid, CPR, 2 marine safety classes, MSAM and MEES classes, telecommunication classes, navigation systems, risk management, and IT. There were 34 students. We were competing with other divisions for that date, so this year the date is planned for March 14th and 15th. And the culinary service provided all the meals, and they were excellent meals. On the back of the sheet, you'll see that Norm has been busy with the color guard, as we saw this morning, and they have events planned out through December this year. They are extremely busy and very much appreciated. That ends my report.
Well, good morning. I'm Marcus Smith with Division 6. Division 6 is really goes from our Grays Harbor station down to Cape Disappointment, the Astoria Air Station, and down to Tillamook, and then out into McMinnville. So we cover a lot of space as well, a lot of the coast of Oregon and Washington. You know, listen to everybody talk about having problems retaining people, getting new people in. Everybody go through the same challenges, right? We had COVID, a lot of things changed. We came out of COVID, things kind of picked up, and now things are kind of trying to figure out where their happy medium is at. I know that for Division 6, we're down a little bit on our vessel exams this year, not a whole lot, but a little bit more because we've got people taking on other areas of responsibility as well. So kind of some of the things that we did throughout the year, we have started out at Cape Disappointment with the Triumph Memorial. For those of you who are aware of the Coast Guard cutter Triumph that sunk out on the Columbia River Bar, they have a memorial for those folks. We help the station put that on. We had our Boat Crew Academy again. It starts usually the last week in January, goes through April. We meet every Saturday from 3 to 6 hours. We had 16 people attending the Boat Crew Academy this year. In so doing, we actually worked on our workshops and the TCT refresh at the same time. So we kind of keep our division and the flotillas set up with those workshops in a timely manner. Flotilla 63 started their vessel exam events at Garibaldi in March. We had a Kids Don't Float class with preschoolers in Long Beach. That was a kick in the pants. I don't know if you do those kinds of things with the preschoolers. It was a lot of fun. We did get a grant 2 years ago for life jackets to hand out to the kids of Pacific County. So this is the second year. We hand out about 350 life jackets a year. And so during these events, we're able to to fit the life jackets to the kids and let them take them home and have something when they're around the water. We do a lot of training support patrols for Station Cape Disappointment. So Division 6 has 3 facilities and 3 coxswains. Cape Disappointment has 50 members, and they're kind of like the rest of us. They have boats that break down often, so they actually like to use us to be the dummy boat while they practice training in towing and certifying their crews. So we do that as well. We worked for about a year through this whole process of replacing HVAC units at the Motor Lifeboat School. So they'd been running 6 years with no heat in their buildings. They had a contractor come out and bid to repair those at $340,000. We worked with them. We actually put all new units in for less than $30,000. Saved the Coast Guard quite a bit of money with that project. And again, it's just utilizing the skills that our members have that bring in to the auxiliary that we can do construction type things as well as stations to help them out. We had vessel exam event in Astoria. Had 2 fishing derbies this year, and again, we handed out life jackets, so at Black Lake in Long Beach and then the Loomis Lake up in Ocean Park. A lot of kids there. We were able to hand out the life jackets. County's starting to see that. A lot more people are coming out in support of that. It's really a good start at community relations in that particular aspect. Loyalty Days Parade, that's one that goes on every year in Long Beach. Big parade. Coast Guard active duties are at 29, and they also bring in a helo and do a flyover during the parade. 63 had more VE events at Neatarts. We worked Armed Forces Day with Coast Guard as well. 66 had an I'm Hooked Fishing Derby, and 63 another one in Garibaldi in June. Pirate Days in Grays Harbor in June. Rose Festival, Make Way, and Security Patrols. So again, Division 6 supports Division 7 in the Rose Festival. That happens in June. A few years ago, we had multiple fatalities on Long Beach. We had 3 kids die within 3 weeks, drowned out there. So the Coast Guard asked us if we could start doing beach patrols and informing the public of the riptides. So we do conduct beach patrols during the hot summer days of the season. We get out there, we talk to the public, and most of the folks from the cities aren't used to the ocean. They don't know what's going on, so we help keep them informed. It's unbelievable when we get out there how many kids are swimming right in the riptides and they don't even know it. This year we had our picnic with Station Cape Disappointment. Ended up being on the 14th of July. That same morning, they had a major fatality out on the bar. So our picnic was a little less happy as it should be. The poor guys from the Coast Guard, I mean, we're talking young kids. This is the first time they've done CPR on a kid and some people. So it was a rough time for them, but we were able to help them get through it and start working on skills to cope, right? We all had to learn through that, and these are areas that we've been able to help them in as well. We did 4th of July fireworks safety zone support patrols. I did our QEs, boat crew QEs. We had three research and 2 new crew members. Then we get into August, and for us, that's buoy 10. So we packed, in July, we stuffed packets, about 500 of them. And then during August, as the fishermen started arriving, and there could be 1,000 boats out there in one day, we're on the boat ramps talking with the boaters. We're informing what they need to know. We're giving them safety packets. We're explaining to them, again, the rules of the road out there to stay out of the way of the heavy ships. Because these guys will be out there just trolling, kind of not thinking, and these big heavy ships are coming in at 14 knots. And we ended up doing some make-way patrols to try and get them out of the way for the heavy ships this year as well. Good thing to report, there were no fatalities during buoy 10. So again, all of the efforts that we put out there, we don't have fatalities, so we know we're making a difference. And it's for the work that you guys are doing as well. As you start seeing the fatalities and the incidents in boating public go down, you know the work that you're doing is getting through, and you're helping your public folks as well with staying safe out on the water. We have 3 commercial vessel examiners. I'm not sure the number of vessel exams they've done so far this year, but I know that the fall is a big time where they're getting set up to start doing vessel exams on the commercial crabbing boats, so that'll be picking up as well. So I like to keep things rolling. I've worked for the Army Corps of Engineers for 28 years, and one of the things that we did is we set up the year's events, as we called it, our battle rhythm. So for me, I like to look at the battle rhythm. What are we going to be doing each of the months of the year, get things set up and keep that rhythm going. We're here in the fall, and a lot of the boating is starting to wind down, but I want to keep people active and busy, still continuing to do the tasks at hand. So upcoming, we've got Veterans Day lunch in October. We're going to actually be helping decorate Station Cape Disappointment for the fall. Of course, we've got our division elections coming up, Boat America class, flotilla elections, Boat America class again, crossing the bar class. That's a big one that we put on for crossing of the Columbia River Bar as well as the Tillamook and Grays Harbor bars. A lot of folks come to that class as well. It's a 4-hour class. And then Christmas time, one of the things we do with Station Cape Disappointment is, you know, the kids got families and they don't make a whole lot of money. So we try to help them at Christmas time. And so our flotillas get together with the station, get the names and ages of the kids, and we buy them Christmas gifts. Then one of the crew members or one of the auxiliaries becomes the Santa Claus, gets on the 47 and comes into the station with the kids watching Santa come in, and then we're able to hand each of the kids a Christmas gift. Really, this will be our 4th year doing that. It's a really fun event. So, you know, we do different things during the year, but there's things that go on consistently. So we do night patrols, supporting Air Station Astoria with night helo ops on a weekly basis, Tuesday evenings. We go to muster at the station or quarters every Wednesday. We do data entry support, helping Station Cape Disappointment put their stuff into their computer systems and let those folks be able to do the things they need to be doing out on the water, out on the boats, rather than doing data entry. We have a regular gate guard that's assisting Air Station Astoria as well. We have watchstanders at Cape Disappointment and 2 training up at Grays Harbor, do watchstanding up there. And of course, our routine vessel exams and program visits. That's all I've got. Thank you.
Hi, good morning, everyone. My name's Mary Shuck. I am the Vice Division Commander for Division 7. Robert decided to take a cruise during this time. I'm not sure why he wanted to do that. And therefore, he left the reporting to me, and, you know, I'm feeling a little bit overwhelmed here, so next time I do this, it will be much longer. Division 7 represents 7-3, 7-6, which is my flotilla, 7-8 and 7-12 in Vancouver. Hillsborough for 7-12, Vancouver 7-8, and 7-3 and 7-6, we kind of overlap our areas. I wanted to say that collectively, we've done a lot of little things and a few big things in the division. I'll start with the little things, and I don't have a whole lot of names, but we're very, very involved here. First, both the division and 7-6, we won the NACO 3-star award. And again, that's just a measure of having not only a diversity of our people, but a diversity of the things that we're doing in our division. We're very proud of that award. We participated in several PA events, a couple of air shows you might have heard of, the McMinnville Air Show and the Hillsborough Air Show, and a little Hilltop Safety Fair, which happens very close to this location. And we did some of those events in conjunction with the Sea Scouts. We're very proud of our Sea Scout program, and Neil Smith is heading that up. We're very thankful for his efforts. We now have 3 active radio watchstanders in our division who have done 557 hours so far this year. And we have 5 new members to date. We've completed 358 vessel exams, 137 of which are paddlecraft. That's a very, as you know, emerging market and a huge need for paddlecraft exams for boating safety. We helped the active duty plant some flags at Willamette National Cemetery. That's one that I participate in every year, as well as other members. Very proud to do that, standing side by side with the active duty. We made 2 new crew members, and 4 of our members are striking for coxswain this year, so I'll be helping out with their sign-offs and making sure that they're learning the exact ways of the Coast Guard. And then we did a couple of bigger things. We performed over 673 hours of culinary service, cooking for Career Day, Coast Guard Career Day, breakfasts, promotions, farewells for our favorite warrant officers. And our own Robert Magel served 582 of those hours aboard the U.S. Coast Guard cutter Florence Finch for 3 weeks straight, traveling from Florida through the Panama Canal and up. I think he got off in California. He had some family business to do, so he didn't make it all the way up to Tongue Point, but huge effort there from Robert. Which now I really don't understand why he's on a cruise. I just don't get it. For surface operations, of course, I'm very passionate about that. We've done 58 patrols as a division, 279 actual underway hours with varying patrol responsibilities. We do lots of trainings with Station Portland. The Goose, which is my facility, she's never broke down so much. It's like every Tuesday her engine dies and I have to be rescued by these wonderful men and women in uniform. Other than that, our biggest event of the year, of course, is 2024 Portland Rose Festival. It was a massive effort. 38 members participated in that. 4 divisions were included in that, Division 5, Division 6, my Division 7, and 11. Thank you very much for your participation. It's a huge effort. It took 9 facilities, lots of people doing security zones, work on the water. We had people in the command center, affectionately called Mobile 9. Everything went off so smoothly this year, and so huge thanks to Darren Lewis, who helped organize and put that event together, and we're looking forward for another good year next year. So I'm very proud of what Division 7 has completed. Look forward to next year.
Well, it's been a very busy but yet productive boating season in eastern Washington and northern Idaho. For those of you that aren't familiar with Division 8, basically our borders are Canada in the north, Oregon in the south, Montana in the east, and the Cascade Mountains in the west. So we are all of eastern Washington, and there's a lot of scrub brush there. which becomes challenging. There are lots of lakes, so we're primarily lake-oriented. Couple of things to note: there were no on-water accidents this year that we are aware of in our area, which is always good. And we have maintained a very strong working relationship with the sheriff's departments. Active duty just doesn't come out our way that often. We did get 2 lucky visits this year. 4th of July, they came to Lake Coeur d'Alene. That's become kind of an annual event for them. I won't say boondoggle, but I know they have a good fun time when they're there. And then for the first time, and well, we've been members of the auxiliary in 14 years. For the first time ever, they came up to Lake Pend Oreille, which is a lake 42 miles long and 10 miles wide. So thank you very much. We were glad to see the active duty up there, and so was the general population, by the way. We have some very unique challenges out in Division 8. We share those challenges with our lovely friends to the east, which is Montana, and a little bit south of us, which is Boise. So Divisions 10 and 11 is we can walk on water from roughly January until first part of April or May. Yeah, no icebreakers. Thanks, Lars. That being said, it is a challenge. We hear all these statistics, and so you'll notice that I don't dwell a lot on statistics. That's because we have 4 months to do our work, not 12. So basically we start, May 1, and we put everything to bed September 30. We did meet some of our division goals. We have maintained that working relationship with the Sheriff's Department, which I indicated earlier. That was not a positive working situation for a number of years, and we've worked to rebuild that, and it's there. And matter of fact, it's to the point where the local sheriff's office has staffing problems almost worse than we do in the auxiliary, in the fact that our flotilla on Lake Pend Oreille was asked by the sheriff to be on the water every day, every week, if we could. That was not a possibility because he doesn't have enough manpower to man the boats that they own. So we're doing the best we can to get out there. But we've had some issues, basically, Doug Harris misstepped, and so he blew up his Achilles tendon. That's why we don't have a D Captain East here today. So that took 1 crew out, and we had a health concern, took another crew out. So we're struggling a little bit that way, but that's okay. Like many of you, our greatest issue and factors that we have is attrition. We lost some members to retirement and some age-related factors. But the good thing is that we have new members in almost every flotilla, and that's good. The biggest challenge that we have is challenging the general belief that the Coast Guard and the Coast Guard Auxiliary is only involved in activities on the coast, because that's the only place that the Coast Guard is. So we're fighting that general concept, as well as just the fact of life in general out there. The last thing that we have a great challenge is with our boater education classes. One of those challenges is they're planned, and the stiff resistance we meet is because all of the boating marinas only do boating part of the year. Their showrooms are filled with snowmobiles and other snow playing devices, and they're filled right now with that. So we go talk about a boating safety class, and they look at us like, what boat did you just get off of? In any event, the other problem we have, and this is a good problem to have, it reflects poorly on our abilities to have boater education classes as the auxiliary, because the good news is all the sheriff's departments are offering boater education classes free. We cannot compete with a free program. I'm sorry. We do the best we can, but free is still free. But we're happy that the Sheriff's Department has stood up and is doing that. I mean, boater safety is well going on there. Nevertheless, the fact that we talk about these little things that are odds and ends, we are a group of hardy souls out there in the West. We dress warmly in the winter with an eye towards the summer and recommencing our outdoor activities. So here's hoping for a short winter season so we can get on the water again. Thank you.
I think Mark stole one of my old reports. Because that covered some of the things I was going to talk about, too. My name is Dave Hanson. I'm commander for Division 10. And Division 10 covers Montana. All of Montana. So from one corner to the other, it's the same going from Chicago to DC. Okay? Yeah. And we have one lake out there called the Fort Peck Reservoir. And it has the same shoreline that California has with the Pacific Ocean, to give you an idea. You know, our Fish, Wildlife, and Parks says we have 6,400 miles of navigable rivers. So that's where most of our activity is, on the rivers and on the lakes. And it's all fresh water. So yeah, coming up, all that water is going to get hard, and we'll be able to walk on water again. But, like we say, we're spread pretty thin. Now, you talked about how many members we had over here in this area. We have 33 members for our division. And we have folks that drive more than 90 miles to a flotilla meeting one way. So we're spread out all over. And one of our biggest problems is communication and communicating with each other and trying to keep each other on track. But you know, that's all our difficulties. Let's talk about what we're doing, because we are doing a lot of good. And one of our big things is public education. Now, Mark talked about the fact that it's offered for free by the sheriff's office. Well, in Montana, you don't need one. You don't need a boater safety card. Anybody can operate a boat. In fact, in Montana, the rule is, if you have somebody 18 years old on board, you can drive the boat. No age limit. So imagine this. They also have a rule that says that you have to be 18 years old to be a spotter for a skier. So a family goes out with a 10-year-old boy. So to be legal, while the mother's water skis and the father's the observer, the 10-year-old boy has to operate the boat. So think about that. But we have a really close relationship with our Fish, Wildlife, and Parks within Montana. It's involved for boating responsibility and boating laws and administering. It's a very strong one. They call us all the time. We work directly with them. And we also work with the Forest Service as well as BLM and others. And part of that is that when there's a fire, sometimes, not always, but they will call us in and ask us to create a safe zone for the dippers that are coming in, picking up water. So we work directly with them. We work also with the Montana National Guard and setting up the safe zone so they can practice their helicopter exercises on the water. Or with the Air Force that's in the area as well. So we do a lot of that, but we're depleting our members. We're losing a lot of our members are getting old. I just had one retire this year, and he'd been in for 30 years, and he just retired. So we're looking for people. Well, to that end, I'm going to reach out to DIROCS, and I'm going to say, let's help us get a paddlecraft program going. Because we walk around here, and every one of them have talked about paddlecraft and the need for paddlecraft. Let's talk about getting a paddlecraft program going together so we can have auxiliaries on the water and paddlecraft. Because that is our biggest danger. Like I talked about the navigable rivers. There's a river that travels from Helena, Montana to Great Falls. And that's about 90 miles. And on that river, they refer to it as the Rubber Highway. And they call it the Rubber Highway because there is so many float boats going down that in the summertime, fly fishing, that it's like a rubber highway. And it's non-motorized, so we can't get on it. We stop by and we talk to them, they go, well, you're not a paddlecraft operator, what do you know? But if we had some paddlecraft, we could probably reach a lot of folks, because what happens is it's all 45, 40-degree water. They're standing up in the float boat, and of course they're fishing, so they have their hip waders on. And it's 90 degrees out, so I'm not going to put a life jacket on. It's right over there. I can get it. And as they're going down, they're fly fishing, they bump a snag, boom, in the water. They're gone. And we've lost a lot of people in those locations. In the same way with reaching out with those that are doing the stand-up paddleboards and wearing a life jacket when wearing it, because the water is so cold when they hit it, they just lose their breath. So, to that end, and all the issues we have with membership and everything else, I'm going to say, let's all take a step back and think about why we joined the auxiliary. Why did we join? Did we join to wear the uniforms and sit here and listen to somebody like me drivel on about whatever? Or did we join for a bigger purpose? Now for me, I do a lot of boating education classes, and I work hard on the boating education classes. And we end up doing classes for a special needs Boy Scout troop. I get to answer special questions like, how fast does an aircraft carrier go and how do you steer a submarine? But that's beside the point. You have a good time. You have a lot of fun doing it. So I'm going to reach out to you. Do the classes as many as you can. You don't always have to do Boat America. There are a lot of classes to do and a lot of things you can do. And that's how I reach out to people. Because I believe if I reach out and I find one person, just one, that put their life jacket on and saved their life, everything I've done is worth it. Everything is done. Thank you very much.
Afternoon, everybody. My name is Joe Fisher. I'm the Division Commander for Division 11 out of Boise, Idaho. And like they said, we walk on water a couple months out of the year.
Can you bring them?
Can you hear me okay?
Well, you can pick it up.
Test 1, 2. Test, test.
Battery died.
Test 1.
There you go.
Okay, again, my name is Joe Fisher. I'm Division 11 Commander out of Idaho. We're in Boise and to eastern Idaho as far as Idaho Falls, which was where I live. So, like I was saying, for Division 8 and 10, we walk on water a lot too. So, with that said, we have successfully executed our 2024 boating and paddle safety kit distribution projects in the Boise 130-1104, Division 11. Our objective this year was to distribute 6,000 safety kits. While we fell short due to unforeseen circumstances, such as the early drawdown of Lucky Peak due to a boat ramp construction, and the excessive heat in the summer also affected our public affairs event, particularly our outreach and paddlecraft program in the Boise River Water Park. Despite these changes, I'm proud to, this thing also? I'm just going to yell at you guys. So despite these challenges, I'm proud to report that we distributed 4,021 paddle kits and 499 boating safety kits, culminating in a total of 4,520 kits total last year, or this year, sorry. So our main goal in our area is because we don't have a lot of facilities. We got a few boat crew members, and we do our training in Montana, and I've gone down to the Las Vegas area in Lake Mead. So we maintain or do a lot of stuff with the paddle safety kits. So again, we completed 4,520 kits this year. For 2025, looking ahead, we're already strategizing for the upcoming operation to kick off. We have received a request from the Shield Sporting Goods for a total of 1,000 paddlecraft safety kits that are going to be delivered early in March of this year. I keep saying this year, it's 2025, sorry. So that's going to put us in a position for a strong start for 2025. I'd like to take a moment to recognize the exemplary service of several members during the Warhawk Air Museum PA event in Napa, Idaho. Early this month, a special commendation goes out to Jenny Shea, Don Hudson, and Craig Hartman for their outstanding efforts for distributing 550 paddlecraft safety kits to the public, effectively concluding our operational year. Over the past 4 years, we have achieved a total of 12,798 paddlecraft kits, 1,935 boating safety kits. Our member accomplishments for Division 11 Flotilla 11-4 to date is 73.4 hours of boat crew training, 223 hours of program visits, 145 vessel examinations, 34.7 hours of instructor training. Furthermore, one member obtained OXOP status early this year, alongside numerous other individual achievements throughout the year. Thank you for your dedication. Thank you for your attention and dedication. This concludes the operational status report for Division 11 2024. Let's continue to uphold our mission and strive for excellence in all endeavors. Thank you.
Ephraim, are we ready for a Ways and Means Committee report?
My name is Ephraim Krisher. I'm the DSO Finance. I have good news and bad news about the budget for 2025. The good news is the Ways and Means Committee has recommended a budget of $120,460. The bad news is that none of that is for the District Staff Officer Finance meeting in Waikiki. I've given everybody a copy of the proposed budget, which was $120,460. We're forecasting a revenue receipts of $62,210,
See if that works for us.
which includes $5,000 in interest. This year, we'll get about $6,000 in interest. We have certificates in Navy Federal, a year's certificate, and a short-term certificate. The short-term will be coming due in October, and I'm going to extend it to 6 months and then renew the 12-month certificate, so we should get at least $5,000 in interest for the coming year, which is significant. The major increase, we've added one line item, which is sector coordinator travel, $3,000 for the sector coordinators for Sector Puget Sound and Sector Columbia River. We've increased the training budget from $14,000 to $24,000. So that we expect revenue of about $62,000 and expenditures of $120,000. So if necessary, we have a use of the checking account funds, and we have, I'll give you the amounts in a minute, of $58,000 from checking account. We won't have to take at current, or at the end of September, at the end of August, we had $110,000 plus in checking, and we had almost $216,000 in the certificates. So we won't, certainly not going to touch the certificates. We have more than enough checking to cover the budget if needed. And hopefully it will be needed so that the funds are used as the Ways and Means Committee has recommended. So I would ask for the board, for someone to make a motion to approve the budget as recommended by the Ways and Means Committee. Can we have a second? Second. All right, so all those in favor of adopting the budget as approved by the Ways and Means Committee, say aye. Are there any opposed? Does anybody want to recommend the finance officers meeting in Waikiki? No, I didn't think so. Thank you very much.
Mr. Rainborn, we have some minutes to get approved.
I believe that, Deborah, you want to handle the approval of minutes since you're the secretary of this meeting?
Well, usually the chair of the meeting would
I
just
think
ask
they've
for
been
a,
distributed
ask
to all
for
the board
a,
members of the previous meetings.
So the minutes from the previous meeting, which would have been in February of 2024, were distributed to everyone on the board. I was the person that took those minutes, so, and they were very brief. They're on a form 7,000, they should be in front of you. So if you haven't had a chance to take a look at those, please do real quick. And then maybe the Comptroller would like to ask for a motion to approve those minutes as presented.
There you go. And we have a motion to accept.
Second.
And a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Passed. I don't have any old business that I'm aware of. How about new business that take this opportunity that we're all here to discuss? All righty then. We'll skip right to the DCAP East remarks.
He's not here.
And he's not here. About North, Klaus, I know Klaus is here.
Class Nash, DCAP, North outgoing. Maybe I'll just leave this laying down, or I guess I'll hold it. You've already been put on notice by Jim Enborn. I've scratched out at least one line from my prepared remarks. So I'm not reporting on numbers. You got those from our division commanders. What I am reporting on is how the northern area units are cooperatively working to fill gaps in our ability to serve and meet the needs of our constituents. I'm also reporting on the glaring deficits we face and the likely trajectory of outcomes in these areas given the approaches the northern area is taking. What is profoundly evident is that fellowship is the key to getting to know one another and building the trust that leads to cohesiveness, which is critical to the efficient and effective use of our material and human resources to meet the missions we are called on to serve. Flotilla 41 has figured out how to build that fellowship with weekly Zoom calls that have grown to open up to include members from all the Division 4, along with participation from the other northern area units, as well as an occasional visit from outside the northern area. These calls have led to much greater awareness of public affairs events and increasing the number of participants staffing those events, rebuilding, and in fact growing the boat crew activities and beginning to meet the challenges the active duty has asked us to meet in coverage of the Puget Sound AOR. A fair amount of brainstorming leading to creative solutions also come about through these meetings, including the relaunching of the Northern Area Regional Training. It won't be called that, it'll be called something more jazzy, I'm sure. It's now planned for mid-April 2025, and it's under the facilitation of Gail Porter. Getting out of short-term reactive mode to become more proactive in the coverage of scheduled on-the-water events by building a list of those events from scanning a couple of years' worth of local notices to mariners and prompting both active duty responsible for those permitted events in having OX involved early enough so that we can mobilize the needed resources to help. And this cooperation through this fellowship has also been very much instrumental in helping Division 3 reestablish its patrol capability. So these fellowship meetings have also helped us identify emerging leaders, and equipping them for greater service. We were able to get 2 new persons to volunteer to become auxiliary unit coordinators for a couple of the far-lying stations. And the meetings have helped us share what we have found to be effective processes to doing some of the work we're called upon to do. Speaking of leadership development, Dave Hansen and I had a number of listening sessions for members contemplating a run for office, giving them some guidance on the calls, defining the scope of the office's responsibilities, and then continuing on into mentorship relationships. We've had the benefit of several members actually stepping up to serve as leaders, whether elected or appointed, and they're doing amazing work. That said, we're shy of qualified and willing members needed to fill key positions throughout the area. More has to be done to develop leaders, but not by handing them a manual or just having a workshop or so, but continued engagement needs to be part of that, and the ability to address their concerns and practical issues as they emerge in the execution of the job. We have new members who are enthusiastic about contributing their time and their skill sets to help build our capacity and do a more focused version of the Zoom fellowship meetings, dealing with the requirements and the responsibilities of offices and qualifications is proposed. And we have one such new member, Bill Rasmussen from Flotilla 33, who is launching a periodic gathering, minimally once a month, of folks interested in incident response, and has suggested several other areas of interest as well. We need these types of efforts and the enthusiasm of those willing to take on the leadership to build out our membership capabilities. The enthusiasm must not be summarily stymied. We cannot be risk averse and prevent their giving of time and talent, but we must be prudent and have risk mitigating measures in place. We can draw from our more senior members, not senior leadership per se, but we have senior members who have sort of faded, and maybe this is the role for re-engagement. And this will help guide and ground those undertakings. We have been relatively successful in continuing the activities that we've been doing over multiple years. Division 2 has offered docents for the weekly summer tours of Alki Lighthouse. That's an amazing program. Likewise, Division has been faithful in staffing the Bay Seattle Galley on Fridays, affording active duty specialists to tend to administrative responsibilities, team building, and a bit of respite. But we also have deficits, and those are more important and apparent when active duty calls upon us to backfill when they lack the coverage. One such area is the already mentioned weekly patrols in Puget Sound, but more glaring is when we are called to staff a cutter with culinary assistance. I believe one reason is that it is because of our visibility and successes that we are seen as being deeper than the ranks that we actually have. The quantity of assets we depend on and where they're located. A recent call for longer-term coverage for culinary assistance for the Henry Blake was unable to be met within the district, so we had to go outside. These calls for assistance come with very short notice of time, and filling without an awareness of resources we can actually deploy, I think disappoints both sides. So, in addition, people go into REYR because they can't find the time to work in the areas of opportunity. So again, a mismatch of opportunity and location of assets. And then, we are suffering, as several of you mentioned, with our advancing age and the realities of our responsibilities outside of the auxiliary service. We're also losing our brain trust. Tony Ford, a 23-year member in Flotilla 18, who has served in so many capacities and earned so many commendations that a review of all of those is an exercise in using the down arrow on OxData 2. He's leaving the auxiliary with all his faculties intact, and we congratulate him on his decision to retire. But we also have longtime members who have served in roles of great responsibilities, perhaps as QEs and at unit leaders whose faculties, along with their mobility, are failing. We have missed the opportunity to capture their knowledge and the processes they knew intuitively for the next generation to benefit from. We can't let this happen. So let's start working on documenting and making lists and other useful tools for the incoming to not step into a vacuum. I think I spoke about the realistic expectations versus, what's imagined we can do, and we need to do a better job about that. But I just want to echo some of the kudos that some of our division commanders called out in terms of rebuilding those assets and really capitalizing on the energy that's there, and especially to the folks in Division 1 for sharing of their resources, Division 2 for a great boat crew academy, 23 people were in that boat crew. Division 4 for their boat crew academy, which is getting the first coxswains for this year qualified in early October, and they have been instrumental in helping get Division 3 boat crew going as well. So I'm happy to be working with the incoming Division Captain North to ensure that he's apprised of where things are at in my view of the world, but also to help as a sounding board for his vision moving forward. So I thank you, concluding my remarks.
Good morning, all, and thank you again as District Captain South. I did not make any remarks, but thank you all for your confidence in me. I'll try and continue my service for another year in that position. So first of all, Captain Schmidtke, Captain Jensen, and Commander Jansen, Commodore Singler, and Keenley. Honored guests, I first would like to congratulate, if I may, Mary Shuck. Mary Shuck is now a hired member of the Coast Guard as a civilian employee of the command center at Sector Columbia River. So now she gets paid for what she was doing free. But in all honesty, Mary is involved in so many different various activities. I think this is going to keep her busy and out of trouble. So I'd like to report that our southern area is alive and well, and our activities have consisted of, and I'm not going to repeat some of the things that our Divisions 5, 6, and 7 commanders have done, but you get to hear it twice. We have accomplished approximately 32,509 hours of service, with 9,236 hours directed toward the active duty side. We gained 42 members with 14 disenrollments, 6 retirements, with a net gain of 28 at this point. Our southern area, which consists of Divisions 5, 6, and 7, extends from Grays Harbor in the north to Brookings and Medford in the south and east to the Portland area, provided 2,091 vessel examinations, 1,910 underway hours, 15 coxswain crew qualifications, and as of this writing, 1,400 auxiliary hours can be associated with radio watchstanding in our areas from stations Checo Bay, Siuslaw River, Tillamook Bay, Portland Grays Harbor, and Sector Columbia River Command Center. In particular, I'd like to thank, if I may, Cam Young, Barbara Rockford, Ray Latham, and Jim Finsky for their combined 6,200 hours of service the last 5 years. They have done a tremendous job. In our southern area, underway hours for stations Cape Disappointment, Umpqua River, Siuslaw, Portland, provided by the auxiliary for active duty station qualifications of coxswains and crew totaled approximately 77 hours. Helicopter training for air stations Astoria and North Bend, qualifications provided by the auxiliary approximated 80 hours. It was only with the assistance of the auxiliary that these qualifications were made possible. I'd be remiss if I did not mention that our 5 commercial fishing vessel examiners, of which I am part, and I love them, provided 50% of all of the examinations of Sector Columbia River, which includes active duty civilian employees as well as auxiliary. I've personally been involved in working with our new sector commercial fishing coordinator, providing her PQS sign-offs and other pertinent information to bring her up to speed. Throughout the year, I have had the privilege of attending changes of command at stations Siuslaw River, Tillamook Bay, Portland, Grace Harbor, Base Astoria meeting, and greeting both auxiliaries and active duty members alike. I was particularly impressed with the change of command at Siuslaw, at which auxiliarist Cam Young was requested to stand the troop with the active duty. Obviously, this was due to Cam's participation as watchstander and coxswain and the hours that he put in. In May, our southern area held a very successful SART or Southern Area Resource Training meeting organized by Will Sumner. I even passed first aid. June ushered in Rust Festival Fleet Week, an event annually held in Portland drawing more than 1 million spectators. This event showcased the U.S., Canadian Navies, the U.S. Coast Guard vessels along the Portland waterfront. The auxiliary has had the privilege of setting up and securing safety zones to control the flow of watercraft throughout the zone. The auxiliaries also provided make-way for Navy vessels from Astoria to Portland, coming and going both ways. 40-some auxiliaries participated in this event from all 3 of our southern area divisions. This was very successful. They very successfully completed their 6-day mission under the leadership and guidance of Commodore Darren Lewis. It would not have been possible without his guidance. During the 6-day event, communications at Mobile 9 Command Center would not have been possible without the setup and leadership of Dave Swartz and Jim Fensky. In July, Division 7 provided 2 operational facilities for the hydroplane races in Tri-Cities to assist down there. Our color guard now consists of 11 members, with another 11 members either in training or interested in joining. The unit under the leadership of Norm Hoffman has been involved in activities from here at D-Train to our SART meeting, various VA ceremonies, and the Vietnam War commemoration ceremony at Roseburg. In closing, again, I'd like to remind all, if I may, of Captain Noggles, and I love his guidance and his guiding principles. I'd like to remind all that we've got to be a people-first leader, and we're all leaders. We must prioritize a supportive and inclusive environment at all times. We've got to culture a teamwork and leverage our diversity. We have great diversity. Embrace change where failure is viewed as opportunity for learning and growth. Foster physical, mental, and spiritual resilience. Ask for help when help is needed, and help when asked by others. And I want you all to make sure that you balance your time, your personal life, and your auxiliary life. Your family still comes first. So please, as leaders, and we're all leaders again, model the way, even if it's something as simple as tying a double becket. Inspire a vision to do the task. Why do we have to do that particular task? Challenge the process, enable others to act, and encourage the heart. Go back and don't forget those who haven't quite caught on to the leadership of that participation, how to do it, and help them. That concludes my remarks. Thank you.
Closing remarks. Commander.
Thank you for everything that you all do. It's always great to hear what we are doing in the district here. And I look forward to celebrating more formally some of these achievements this evening. Thanks.
Commodore Sigler, you have closing?
Oh. Offer? Great job. First of all, congratulations to Klaus for becoming the new DCO for this coming year, and for Mark, now going to be our Chief of Staff. So look forward to the future on that. Great reports, fantastic, and once again, it did show what we can do, which is about everything. I don't know what we can do, all right? I hear from the other districts some of the things they do, and it's amazing to me in all of the aspects of what the Coast Guard wants us or needs us for, but once again, serving our recreational boating public and in our communities. And to me, that's what we're about. We're part of our communities, and as long as we're striving to take care of them and take care of the boating public, and then able to fulfill some needs. We know there's some needs we're still working on that the Coast Guard needs, but we're getting up there. We're getting up there, and keep up the good work, okay? Thank you.
Craig?
Thank you for allowing me to serve you for the last 4 years, excuse me, and look forward to all the exciting things ahead. Good night, or good morning.
Well, that concludes all the information I have to pass on. We have a dinner tonight that I hope everybody will enjoy. And with that, I'll take a motion to adjourn. Moved?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
We're adjourned. Thank you.